Welcome in here to Wager Talk TV. This is First Pitch, a 7-day-a-week show. Joining me today, mid-major Matt Josephs, Dave Koken as usual, Marco D'Angelo at Marco in Vegas on Twitter. I'll start with you, Marco. Let's give a couple seconds here to do some promotion. Not that you need it for Bet Online, but you guys had your show yesterday. How was it?
Good show yesterday. A lot of good information. Check it out. And this year, Andrew, we're doing 2 shows a week now. We do our normal one on Wednesday nights, and then we're coming back with a special edition short version on Monday, but we break down the Monday night game, the day of the game. So be sure to check out both shows twice a week.
Marco, I believe I saw you have a play up for Thursday Night Football. Anything else in action for you? Any MLB action to grab over for you at wagertalk.com?
I will as soon as we're done with the show. I ran out of time, but I can tell you I like several games today, so I might have a 2 or 3 game MLB package up later, or I'll tie everything together for one price.
And Matt Josephs at Mid-Major Matt on Twitter. You made an appearance today on Wager Talk today with the Prez and Teddy Covers. How was it?
It was good. Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave. I am the 4th guy that you forgot on the show, but that's all right. I won't take it too personally. You've got a lot on your mind. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun today. And yesterday we had a 2-2 day. The props were good. Look, I found a great prop that I've been hitting. I've hit 7 straight and 9 of my last 11 total bases prop. Last night I had the total bases over for Jose Abreu and DJ LeMahieu. Both hit homers, and then one at bat, you get the victory there. So I love the total bases one. I got another one tonight involving the Dodgers and the Rockies. And I've got a couple props tonight made Monday Night Footballs, or Thursday Night Football as well. Excuse me.
Who knows what day it is, eh? Last but certainly not least, Dave Koken. How you doing, man? What's up?
Well, it's been an interesting 24 hours. First off, the baseball play I had was the under first 5 in the Angels game, and that was done in the 2nd inning. Bundy couldn't get his breaking balls over and just got singled to death. I think 6 straight guys got on against him, and then they gave up a 2-run homer in the bottom of the inning. So that was the end of that. That was a horrible play. The play I put up as the $2 special was North Carolina at what turned out to be a great number. And unfortunately, that game's not getting played. So if you bought the $2 selection, there will be an adjustment made. You'll get a $2 credit, obviously. And a lot of people bought that. Looking forward to Saturday. I do have a 5% play. And those are, I think it's 72% on all my 5% plays over the past 12 months, which is, that's about as good as it gets. A 4% play, which was based on info, which I think, honestly, it's a 5% level play. And the only reason I didn't put it up as a 5% level play is that I was worried that the game might get postponed, to be honest with you. But it looks like it's going to get played. So I've got those 2 up. I will be posting a baseball play later on, but I'm waiting for lineups on the game because I'd rather not get caught with a lineup that I don't want. And nothing for me in the NFL game. I'll sit back and watch tonight and try and learn a little more about the Bengals and the Browns.
For myself personally, I do have a play up in Thursday Night Football between the Bengals and the Browns. But more importantly for myself, I mentioned I have very rare NHL plays for 5%, but I do have one in the NBA. I believe it's my 3rd in the bubble so far. Miami Heat taking on the Celtics game 2. And since August 20th for me, it's a 36% bankroll increase in the association on the hardwood with the NBA and just in general, all access. Pretty much in the past 30 days, it's a 60% bankroll increase for clients. So guys, head over to wagertalk.com and grab that. But also grab a 3-day pass. Use the coupon code 15 off, 15 off. That's valid today. I mean, 5% play is $40. You can get my entire NFL card, UFC plays and hockey plays included for just $69. Use that coupon code. You're saving some money. $40 for 15% play. Grab a package. Dave and I talk about it ad nauseum, and I believe it'll save you some money in the long term. Guys, we'll get right into it here. The Phillies taking on the Mets. If you watched this game yesterday, it's first of all, it just proves why it's rough for anybody to take this Mets team on the run line. I ended up having the Mets tied into a parlay. Got lucky with that comeback, but interesting game. 2 teams that I think I just want to step back and not really be a part of anymore. But Nola on the mound here for Philly. They're minus 125 favorites. I'll go to you here first, Marco.
Yeah, you look at this one, an uncharacteristic win for the Mets. it was the bullpen that got the job done.
Yeah.
They were forced into service last night with DeGrom having to leave the game after 2 innings, and Michael Wacha come in and pitched 4 good innings. He gave up just 1 run, and then 3 other guys combined to close it out the rest of the way. Not very often you talk about 7 innings of relief from the Mets and only 1 run given up. And they did fight their way back and get the win. Might be a little bit of a momentum builder for them, but I can't buy into them. Got some pretty good stats on Philly here. Obviously, Aaron Nola on the mound has just been pitching sensational. In his last 4 starts, he's only allowed 5 runs. His strikeout to walk ratio, 37-6 in those 27 innings. Nola has owned the Mets, 8-2 lifetime against them. And you look at the Mets this season as a underdog of 150 or less this season. How about 2-12? I got to look at Philadelphia in this one. But again, you're talking about a Philadelphia team that, really 4-0 lead last night and DeGrom's out of the game. That's got to be a devastating loss for them. I don't know what their mental state is. And that's always a problem with these middle of the run teams where you're going to be dealing late in the season, but it's Philly or pass.
Well, I'm not going against Nola at home. I mean, I can tell you that. His numbers are just insane at home. Spectacular. So that eliminates the Mets from consideration. I don't really want to go against Lugo, who wasn't as sharp last time out, but he's been good. With the 2 offenses involved here, it's a little daunting to look at unders. And you saw last night, DeGrom was out of there pretty quickly, but still, that was a game that a lot of people bet under on, and it didn't get there. The only way I'd look is under 4 in the first 5 innings, and that number's, it's a tough number in a ballpark like that. But if I had to play it, that's the way I'm going.
Matt, do you believe in letdown spots? I mean, if I would have told you yesterday afternoon, if we were on this show talking, hey, DeGrom's going to go and leave the game early, you're going to have a great bullpen effort from this Mets team, and also they're going to fall down 4 runs. I mean, would you load up the Brinks truck and back the Phillies there? I mean, do you believe in a letdown spot?
No, I wouldn't, because the Phillies bullpen right now has the 2nd worst ERA of all time. And the worst bullpen ERA of all time is like the 1930 Phillies. So no, actually, and I've said it all along and many times on this show, and people are probably tired. The best bet almost is let the Phillies get a lead and take the money line of the opposition. And you're going to hit more often than not. They have more blown saves than saves. They have, there's nobody you can trust in that bullpen other than potentially Jojo Romero, and he threw a lot 2 nights ago, so he wasn't available last night. Lugo looked really good at home against the Phillies, had the 8 strikeouts in 5 innings. To me, like Dave said, the first 5 under of 4 is probably the only way to go, unless you want to take the Phillies first 5 and then hope they have a lead and take the Mets later, because they're going to go to the bullpen and it's probably going to lose. And it's a very frustrating thing as a Phillies fan and as a wagerer. There's literally no reason to take the Phillies for a full game ever. You either take them first 5 or you don't take them at all.
What's funny is that there was at the trade deadline, the Phillies picked up a couple of bullpen guys from the Red Sox, and it was like, oh, this Phillies fixed their bullpen here, and it's like, really, Brandon Workman and Heath Hembry, and you think they fixed their bullpen? Sometimes the opinions that are out there are weird, to put it mildly.
Well, but also they get David Phelps, and he was really good with Milwaukee, and he's allowed more home runs with the Phillies than he's done in quite a while with his last couple of teams. So I think part of it is they got the wrong arms, but I also think those arms are not succeeding right now.
Right, and they got wrong arms at the wrong time.
I think that these shows have been running long enough anyway, but I feel like I want to add a segment that's almost like the letdown of the night, or the not really the bad beat of the night, but I know they've been doing it. Prez and Teddy have been doing that, and I mean, I feel like Dave, ever since 2 weeks ago when you had a short rant pretty much about how no lead is safe in the MLB, I've specifically noticed like just casual 4 or 5 run leads being blown, like it's nothing. It's just
been happening for a few years in Major League Baseball.
It's baseball for you, but I feel like it's just
bullpens are extremely volatile.
But that's the thing, Dave. You see that in the bullpens, like 7th, 8th, and 9th. But I'm talking about like a 3rd inning all the way until like the fifth, like a 1 or 2
those
innings.
guys are even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
No, really. I mean, the long relievers are guys who aren't they're not even good. They're not even reliable enough to be put into high leverage situations. They're just, I mean, middle relievers. There's like 3 good ones in Major League Baseball.
Next game up here, I'll go with you, Matt. We'll go first with the Cardinals taking on the Pirates here. 8.5 is the total, minus 160 favorites for the Cardinals.
Well, Dakota Hudson's given up 3 runs or less in all but one of his starts. Ironically, that start was way back in July against Pittsburgh when he only went 4 1/3, gave up 4 earned runs and 7 hits. He's got a nice number, 236 batting average first time through the lineup, 145 the second time through. And look, I'll admit, I've backed Brault in terms of first 5 inning unders earlier in the season. He was doing okay. He was a piggyback with Chad Kuhl, and the two of them would go back and forth. And he wasn't terrible. Now he's walking too many guys. He's not lasting very long in games. He got rocked by the Cardinals last year, gave up 17 runs in 15 1/3 innings. The one thing I looked at here was Dakota Hudson's strikeout number was 3.5. And if you look at what the Pirates did in terms of strikeouts when it came to the Cincinnati series, you expect Castillo and Bauer to strike out double digits. But Lorenzen and Desclafani also had a ton of strikeouts too. So 3.5. I know Hudson's gotten to 4 a lot this season. You have to probably swallow a lot of juice, but the over on Dakota Hudson strikeouts looks very good today.
And you've got a situation here where there's one team contending and one team that isn't. There's only 2 weeks left in the season. I don't want any part of the Pirates. You know, you're going to have to pay a premium to bet against these teams, but I don't think it's a terrible idea. The Reds were bigger favorites than they should be last night. Didn't matter. They won the game, and the Pirates didn't do anything. They're facing they're not facing Castillo here, but it's still there's just no way I'm betting the Pirates. So you can take a look. Cardinals first 5 runs line, full game runs line. I think there's a variety of things you can do here, but to me, it would have to be St. Louis.
Marco, every situation is different. I've done several shows with you now here on First Pitch, but like Dave said, the season starting to get a little more intense now. Games obviously mattering more and more each day. Is there a cutoff point for you with your money lines or something that would make you lean towards a run line or some type of situation that you look towards? Like Dave always says, his expression, you have to pay a premium. How do you feel about this number here with the Cards?
Well, it's definitely warranted because the Pirates can't get out of their own way. I can't say anything good about the Pirates. They've lost 8 in a row, and if you look in those 8 games, they scored just 14 runs. That's just 1.75 runs per game. So, yeah, it's dismal. But I will point out the one thing that you are doing here, St. Louis is in a bad situation. They're coming off a doubleheader and have to travel to Pittsburgh. That's a negative. I really wouldn't want to lay a big price with the team in a bad scheduling spot like that. And as bad as Pittsburgh's been and Brault has been at times, his 4 home starts have been good. If I did anything in this one, because the Pirates don't score, and if St. Louis a little bit fatigued from yesterday, maybe let's look at a first 5 inning under for the game, because I think they'll stay in the game at the beginning, get some decent pitching. But once we get to the bullpen with the Pirates, I'm not thrilled. Although they haven't been pitching bad, they're just not scoring any runs. So first 5 under for me is the only thing I considered in this game.
We're taking a look at the Dodgers here, guys. Take on the Rockies here, start opening up a series. The total is 11.5. Dodgers minus 160. Dave, I want to go to you first with this one. Steve Merrill, when he's on the show, he's pretty much every single time spoken about how if you're back in the Dodgers, you want to look run line here. And I look at this price, and I think I like the Dodgers in this spot. Obviously, their lineup's been dangerous lately. You don't know whenever they're going to pop off. Yesterday, we saw a pretty slow start to that game, and then it really picked up. So my question to you is, we see minus 160 here. Would you agree with it in that spot? I mean, this is quite a premium to pay, as you would say. Do you like the Dodgers here on the run line?
I don't not like them, but I have enough respect for Freeland to think that the Dodgers might not knock him around so much. Freeland's in good form again. He seems to have found his groove again, and Arias has pitched reasonably well lately. My take here would be first 5 under. You always get the high number. At course, I think right now, I think it had bumped up a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, you can, it's under 6.5. I think that's got a decent shot.
Is there a play for you in this one, Matt?
Well, to me, Urias has a 7.71 ERA in Coors Field, and he's not going to go deep in this game. I mean, the 6 innings last time out was quite a bit of a surprise against the Astros. Freeland has pitched better, but if you look, his last couple of starts and before this Angels one, he gives up the 4 runs and 8 hits in 2 innings at home to San Francisco, gives up the 4 runs, 11 hits, and 4 1/3 innings at home against San Diego. So to me, I'm looking at some of the Dodgers hitters who have really good numbers. Seager's 8 for 16 in his career against them. Turner's 12 for 27, although maybe he sits tonight because he's coming off the injury and has played back-to-back days. So to me, I don't have as much respect for Freeland in this one. I'm also a big proponent of that first 5 under in Coors Field because we are getting some nice numbers.
Exactly, Marco. I mean, we're going to get a good number here at 11.5 is the full game total here. Would you agree with that consensus play here in this show with the under first 5?
I'm not going to go with the total in this one. I can't disagree with that. But where I'm going at, guys, I'm taking Colorado as a live dog here. And here's why. I'm going to pull out the fat and sassy. Last night, the Dodgers completed the series with the Padres. We know the Dodgers are the best team in the National League. The team that's been nipping at their heels was the San Diego Padres. That was a big series. They took 2 out of 3 from them last night. Now they're going to Colorado. How excited are they really going to be off of that big series and going to Colorado, who basically is an also-ran? And then, as Dave said, Freeland's back pitching well. The last 2 starts have been phenomenal for Freeland, and it looks like he was the way he pitched at the beginning of the season. And he's going to be pumped up for facing the Dodgers. So I'm going to take a live shot on Colorado to back you guys as underplays in this game. Freeland in his career has been a home underdog 8 times. All 8 have gone under the total. Also, Freeland, whenever the total's 10 or higher, when he's on the mound, 34-14 to the under. So Colorado and under, that's it. But I might actually get involved with an actual play on Colorado for my clients tonight.
And Marco, with how dangerous this Dodgers lineup is, would you say it's kind of a correlated play there? I mean, if you're backing the Rockies here, you probably want it to be a lower scoring game?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that.
We're going to go through our next segment, guys. The quick hits, decent amount of games, some good matchups here, and actually 2 games already underway. We'll go right into it. Diamondbacks take on the Angels, Young and Canning. We'll start with you, Dave.
This is an exhibition series. I mean, I seriously, I watched last night's game. I usually watch the Angels. I like their broadcast team a lot, and I enjoy their games. And you'd have thought it was March, and they were down in Arizona just having a good time. Everybody was smiling on both sides, laughing. I mean, it was just, there was zero intensity in the game. So it's tough to get a handle on a game like that because they're just looking to finish. I mean, what is it, 19-31 against 20-30? So it's just play out the string time for these 2 teams. Young was really good in relief last time out, but we'll see what he does as a starter. Canning's had a terrible season. He still hasn't won a game for the Halos. I just can't recommend the Angels as in terms of value in a toss-up game that means nothing. I think I'd lean to Arizona. Why not? They've won the first 2 in this series. They might get this one as well.
Matt, when I'm looking at hockey games with 2 teams that are closer to the bottom, a lot of times I actually look towards the over. I think that, those guys wake up and they're like, hey, it's a chance to actually do well. It's a chance to display my skills. That's kind of the way I look at it. Is there a theory in baseball, though?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really, look, as Dave said, like with 2 teams that don't really care. I mean, why should I care? I mean, I'm not going to, I don't bet a lot of the Western teams anyway. I don't like Young. I don't like Canning. The only reason I would back a team or a side in this game or in games like this is if I like a pitcher or I like a lineup. Maybe you take Mike Trout over total bases here because I don't think Young's very good, and Trout, is always good for a double, triple, homer, whatever. But to me, this is one of these classic games that they have to put a line out, but I don't have to play it.
Exactly. Nobody's asking us to bet every game. It's our advantage to select which games we want to play. Marco, I've kind of been speaking about this too much, but I just want to mention, I said yesterday that I very rarely have played games involving. There was the KC matchup against Detroit, and I said, yeah, I've probably rarely played these two teams. Then you go ahead and think about it. I'm thinking to myself last night, you know what? Going through my baseball plays, it's true. A lot of them have been these marquee matchups, but there are certainly some strategies and some ways we could make some money betting on these weaker matchups when two bottom feeders play each other. Is there a play for you here?
If there's a play for me here, there's only one way to go, and that's the over the total. The Angels, 19-5 to the over at home this season. You're just blindly playing the over every home game. 19-5 is a nice record to have in your pocket. And then if you look at home against left-handers, they're 10-2, even a better percentage. So it's over for me in this one or nothing. And again, you asked that thing about, teams with overs. Is there any kind of thing in baseball? I've never done that theory in baseball, but I use that theory when teams are out of it late in the seasons. Always use it in the NBA because you get no defense. They just want to put, pad the stats. Yeah. I look at that at the end of a football season. If two teams aren't in the playoffs the final week of the season, they're not going to play intense defense. It's easier to play offense than it is defense. And I will look at overs in those situations.
So, Dave, it's a good thing we got that game over with. We can talk about the game of the night here, the Giants and the Mariners. Really was excited all day to talk about this with you. So but in all seriousness, we've had the Giants here. Actually, I think they're top 3 or top 4 in the majors as far as units won. Is there a play for you in this one with these two teams?
Well, the market's playing this game. They're firing on the Mariners. This line's dropped 20 cents, and I respect the move. Anderson has been really inconsistent for the Giants. He'll be outstanding one start and then horrific in the next start. There doesn't seem to be any middle ground with him. Margevich is he's just a guy for Seattle. I know the Mariners don't do well against lefties, but I could see Seattle stealing this one. I'm looking to see if there's any stuff in the lineup here. That doesn't look like it. It looks like the Giants have Brandon Belt gets the day off. Mariners appear to have their regular lineup in there. So, yeah, I'll respect the market here and we'll lean with the Mariners.
Matt, what about these strikeout props? Obviously, I want to get your take on this game as well, but strikeout props when you're not seeing obviously just the biggest names out there. Like yesterday, we see Cole. I think he closed at like 9.5. I cashed you under with that. But with some guys that, on teams like this, is there an opportunity to make money betting these prop bets as well in these games?
I mean, these two pitchers, I mean, not really. But yeah, you can do it with pitchers that have lower numbers. I mean, obviously, I'm taking the over on Hudson as it was 3.5, and he's not necessarily known as a strikeout pitcher. I don't have much on this game other than the fact that Margevicius last time threw 101 pitches. That's the most he's thrown in his career. And that's always a red flag to me the next game. Because, and it was against these Giants too. So it's we talked about, what is this, Monday when Anderson was supposed to pitch against Seattle? I mean, I remember I said this, Anderson pitched really well against Seattle. Well, a couple of starts ago, as Dave said, he pitched well against Arizona. And then his next 2 times he faced him, he got shelled. So, I mean, I can't trust anybody in this matchup. So it's easy to pass.
Anything, Marco?
Yeah, it's easy for me. And the key is what Matt just talked about. Both of these pitchers are pitching against the same team in back-to-back starts. That switches the advantage to the hitters when you face the same pitcher, so close to one another. Also look at the fact, here's a little stat for you. In interleague play this year, San Francisco's had 15 interleague games. 14 of the 15 have gone over the total.
Wow.
I'm all about the over in this one.
Wow. Guys, Matt and Marco, I know Dave isn't playing these. Do you guys have any interest in this Tampa Bay Baltimore doubleheader?
Well, the only thing that people should know is the Orioles are the home team in game 1. They're the road team in game 2. So make sure to remember that. I think the price is kind of nuts for game 1. I mean, Kremer hasn't been that bad, pitched well against the Yankees the first 2 games. I'm not going to do it. I can't get in front of this Rays team. By the way, the magic number for the Rays to clinch a playoff spot is 2. Not that it's a big deal because they're going to eventually do it, but their magic number is 2 for this one.
Anything there, Marco, for you?
I'm not in the doubleheader at all.
We'll move forward here. Toronto, Anderson take on the Yankees at Tanaka. As a Jays fan, hasn't been fun to watch the past 2 days here. I'll go to you, Dave. What do you think on this one?
Well, I think it's not going to be fun to watch again. I mean, the
I
Yankees
won't watch that.
They're in playoff mode. They're in
Yeah.
playoff mode, and Tanaka is kind of starting to get his groove on. This looks like a blowout. I mean, Chase Anderson. I look, he can have the occasional good game, but the Yankees are just sizzling right now. I'm not thinking of even taking any chance of stepping in there. It's like a freight train coming your way. Just get out of the way.
It's 5.5 once again here as the team total. I think it was 2 days ago I mentioned on the show we had a few guys in the comment section. Again, we're seeing minus 227 for the Yankees here on the money line. You can get the total or the team total at minus 110, 115 at most shops. If this Yankees team wins again tonight, I don't see them scoring less than 6 runs. That's my play here in this one. Yankees team total over. Matt, what about yourself?
I mean, I think I'm going to go back to DJ LeMahieu over total bases. I have no respect for Chase Anderson. I mean, he's probably going to be the third or fourth inning reliever for the Blue Jays when it comes playoff time. He's not going to start. He's not going to be anywhere near this. With regards to Tanaka, I mean, he's been pretty solid, 5 innings usually. So, there's a chance that the Jays could add to an over here. I mean, they could get a run or two. Hernandez got activated off the injured list, so he'll be available tonight. Now, I haven't seen the lineup, but I'm assuming he'll be in there. But, yeah, I'm not getting in front of the Yankees right now, no matter who's pitching for them.
I was going to say, you can't not like Chase Young, Matt.
And well, I can after last week, but...
Yeah, I guess you probably wouldn't like him either. I'll go. Any closing thoughts from you on this one, Marco?
Well, again, to reiterate what everybody said, not only are the Yankees back winning 7 in a row, they're averaging 9 runs per game over that 7-game winning streak. And stat for you on the Yankees going back to last year, at home against division rivals, 44-12. 44-12, that's a big number. And if you want to look at the Yankees when they're winning like they are now on a winning streak, when the last 2 seasons, when they're on a 5-game or more winning streak, they are 18-5 to the over. So talking about the over, worrying about can Toronto get you enough to get there? The Yankees have been doing it themselves as far as the total goes. So team total, I agree with you. Game total, I agree. And it's Yankees money line, run line, whatever you want to do. That's the only way to play this one.
We'll give you the start in this one here. This next one, Texas taking on Houston. Rangers, Astros. Look, John Lyles is someone I'm looking to fade. 7.7 ERA on the season, 1-4 record. We've been talking a lot on this show about youth, motivation, playoff mode. We can use these cliches, and I think we've seen a little bit of disruption in the lineup from the Rangers. It's been a little bit of up and down, and some guys proving themselves. I maybe 3, maybe 4 times have played the Astros this season, and this to me screams Astros run line. I'm not backing Lyles, and I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about it. I am stepping in here and taking the Astros on the run line. Is there a play for you in this one, Matt?
Well, sorry.
No, you start with Marco. You can go.
I
apologize.
The run line here. The only reason I can't do the run line with Houston is what we saw yesterday. They got shut out yesterday at home. You look at what this team is doing. Their last 9 games, 6 of those 9 games, they've been held to 2 runs or less. I just don't trust this team to score runs right now with the lineup they're putting out there. And we talked about it before, guys. At what point does this Houston team just completely quit after going to the World Series? Losing the World Series, all the stuff that happened in the offseason. This is a train wreck waiting to happen. I can't lay a price with them, and I sure can't do the run line. To be full disclosure, yesterday, I took them on the money line in a 2-team parlay with the Yankees. I was getting back even money on that parlay, figuring, just get the win, because I didn't want to lay the run line with them, and they couldn't even score a run yesterday. So that's my thoughts on this one.
Yeah, Marco, I'm not saying they've been heavily reliable. That's for sure. To me, this is kind of just a test here to see what they can do. And after this, if they let me down in this run line, it's just say goodbye to the Astros in my online betting accounts. That's for sure. We'll go to you, Dave.
I can't lay this kind of a price with a team that's under 500. It really boils down to that. And Valdez, by the way, has not been good at all in his last 2 starts. Not that I want any part of Jordan Lyles. Believe me, I'm not trying to make a case for Texas. But, I mean, this is a 24-25 team. I know they got a lot of talent. I know they've got a good record at home, 17-7 at home. And they've done okay against bad teams. But, I mean, they're 3-7 in their last 10. Texas has actually been better recently than Houston. I mean, the Rangers, I think they're 5-5 in their last 10, if I'm not mistaken. The Astros, they're playing terrible baseball. 2 days ago, they got all kinds of chances to put up big innings, and they managed to scratch out 4 runs in a 4-1 victory. They don't get anything yesterday. Not me. No. I don't want the Rangers are no bet for me, period. And the Astros are pretty much getting to that level as well. They're just not a very good baseball team.
Last but not least, Matt, let's hear it from you. Is it something you're willing to do here with this Astros team, or is it just, hey, they haven't really shown me enough?
Well, I need to know if the trash cans are showing up, because if you're getting complete game shut out by Kyle Gibson, then clearly you don't know what's coming like usual. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you gave all of us in the panel 100 swings, we'd get a hit off of Kyle Gibson, probably score a run, because I'd bunt one of you guys over and then somebody else would knock you in. But to me, it's the big question for me is Framber Valdez. He was terrible in LA in two starts against the Dodgers and Angels, but he was really good against Texas a couple of earlier this month. So to me, if Valdez is on, I'm looking at the under for the team total here at 3.5 for the Rangers, because the manager even came out and said, basically, look, we know we're not making the playoffs. We're going to play a bunch of guys, which also means maybe you look at the Valdez strikeout prop, because the Rangers are striking out a ton against lefties, and he got the 8 strikeouts earlier this month. So to me, if the curveball's on, which is really good, he's got a 39% whiff percentage with his curveball. I'm looking at the team total under for the Rangers and potentially the over on the strikeout for Valdez.
Well, boy, you guys made me feel great about my Astros bet. Jeez, I'm having a pretty good MLB season.
You might well get there. I mean, the Rangers suck, but we're 50 games in, and it's apparent 50 games in, I think you can make a judgment. The Astros are not real good.
I know. Well, I think it was you yesterday, Dave, that said this. I mean, or it might have been Tony. Bad teams are even still going to win some games. And I think I'm not making this bet saying the Astros are going to the World Series. I'm making this bet that they're going to beat Lyles and the Rangers.
No, I'm not betting against you either.
I'm happy to hear that. I know you're having a great season as well, Dave. Bieber.
The last week I've been absolutely garbage in baseball the last week. So I need to get that back on track.
Indians, Tigers. I'm done using my sarcasm, but obviously this matchup seems to be, at least with the odds go, pretty one-sided. Bieber, I saw Ralph Michaels, your pal in Vegas there, yep. Marco, posted some unbelievable stats towards the under and the first 5 under. I can always count on Ralph with a good notification to my Twitter to start my day, actually around lunchtime, usually with some great stats, but this one was a pretty dominant stat, Marco.
There's no question about it. Bieber's been, unbelievable. He's on track for Cy Young in the American League, and that's the only thing that's got Cleveland something to be excited about right now, because this team's lost 8 in a row. Mm-hmm. I can't lay a big price with a team on a losing streak and a team that's just not scoring any runs. But to throw some stuff out there with Bieber as well, and I don't know if this was the stat that Ralph had out there, because I was doing another show earlier this morning. Bieber in road games over the last 2 seasons, 17-4 to the under. Now you can go first 5, but you're laying a really small number on the first 5. And I know these have got there before, but there's not a lot of room for error whenever you're looking at a 3.5 for a first 5. I'd rather go the full game in this one, because Cleveland's not scoring runs. And I think that there's more of a chance of them maybe having that one good inning early on, against the Detroit pitcher and ruin the first 5, but get there for the full game. So for me, if I play it, I'm going to look at the under full game at the 7.5.
So the number was, it was 10 straight first 5 inning unders in games that Bieber's involved, and 9 of the last 10 that Bieber's been in have gone under full game. Dave?
You just gave the stats. That's good enough. I'm not arguing. That's good enough for me.
You're not going to go on the other side, eh? You're not going to take the over.
No, I don't.
Any closing thoughts from you on this one, Matt, before we switch up?
I mean, it's funny because it's that half a run that just, I mean, I love Marco's stat there, but it's just something about that 3.5. And Mize is just, look, last time out, he threw 14 first pitch strikes to the 18 batters he faced. And that's the best percentage he's had this season. If he's getting his strikes and then he could set up his arsenal, and the Indians stink and they've never seen him. So in theory, that all sounds good. But if Mize is walking people, I mean, Lindor's not bad. Franmil Reyes is a pretty good hitter. There are some decent hitters in their lineup, but it's that 3.5 that scares me. I'm going to kick myself tomorrow when I don't take that first 5 under because it's a 3.5. But yeah, I agree with the guys. Of course, that's probably the way to go in this one.
We have a pitching change, by the way, that's just come across. Scratch Chase Anderson for the Blue Jays and insert Merriweather. Merriweather will be the starting pitcher.
I got to say, Matt, with those 3.5s, I haven't had good success with it. We've talked on this show that it still has been something that can work for people, and you don't want to be too scared of taking a lower number. But I think I'm probably 0-3 or 0-4 in the season when I'm backing these unders first 5s with the 3.5. Just the 4 or 4.5 has been way more successful for me.
There's 4s out there. 4 minus 20 is widely available.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's all the games. We've blasted through all of these. So we're going to go around just one more second here to get some thoughts. Obviously, it's a Thursday show. Marco, we won't see you again. So, Marco, let us know. NFL action, college football, baseball. What can our viewers grab from you?
Well, as I said, I got to play up on tonight's football game. You can check that out over at Wager Talk. And as soon as I get off the show today here, I'm going to be posting my baseball. You can probably figure out who a few of them are. I was pretty adamant about a couple of them, but we'll have a big weekend of football as well. I've been going slow into college. There's a couple games I do like this week, so we're going to step out there now. I wanted them to get a game or two under their belt, get a look at these teams. I'm kind of like from Missouri, show me first before I get in there and really get involved, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you guys don't need me to tell you, but if you aren't watching it, check out Bet On It. I've been checking it out, Marco. Great work with that, and great production as well. Wager Talk TV, it's just unbelievable. I'm so excited for the future. Matt, I want to ask you first of all about your packages, but also the prop show. I'm looking to get involved with that as well with you, but that's a great idea. And the way the sports gambling industry is moving, props are getting more and more normal here.
Well, I mean, the powers that be, Andy Lang texted me, and said basically they said to you, hey, you do props. You want to do a prop show on Friday? I was like, sure, why not? Because I love being in front of the camera, even if, my picks aren't always right. And so we did props. I mean, that's the thing, with all these games, we talk about the sides and the totals, but if you're not interested necessarily, but you still want to get involved, there's a bunch of props. Look at Thursday Night Football tonight. May not like the Browns or the Bengals, but you might like a certain player, or you might like a certain thing to happen, field goals, whatever. So we kind of dive into, last week was our first show, so we kind of dive into the props and stuff like that and give you some other angles and things to look at. And
closing thoughts from you, Dave?
Well, I don't have a lot up right now, but what I've got up looks to be high quality. I've got the 5% college football play, another college football play that's 4%, and I think is just as strong. I will be putting up a baseball play. I'm not playing the hockey game tonight. I really don't have a clue on that. And I don't know, just buy a package and you'll get all my plays, and you'll get exactly what I'm betting. Looks like I'm off to a pretty good start with my U.S. Open matchups, by the way. And that's something that, again, that only went to all access players. They're just a bunch of 2% plays, but if they do well, they still add up to a nice profit.
It's game 2 tonight with the Celtics and the Heat. I have a 5% play up on a side in that one here, game 2. It's going to be an outstanding series. I also have a play up in Thursday Night Football, Browns Bengals. Be sure to check that out over at wagertalk.com. It's also where you can find Marco and Dave and mid-major Matt Josephs over at Sports Memo. For all of these guys, Dave, for Matt, for Marco, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the Friday edition of First Pitch right here on Wager Talk TV.